All right, what is up, folks? Welcome back to another episode of Lifting, Running, and Living with your favorite still coaches.
Yep.
I'm just
Still.
going to get rid of the still coaches thing because you just, until further notice. I feel like you still
This might be the last month.
might be.
Yeah, I've got some people to talk to.
Oh, okay. All right. So Kelly's here. Hey.
Hi.
And JK, that's me. All right, we're kicking off episode number 64, and we are going to be creating a training program for an imaginary person. Sounds intriguing, right? So, yeah, stick around to see what we're talking about. So, before we get into that, though, as always, we'll give you some updates on what we've got going on. So, Kelly, you want to kick us off on what you've got going on these days?
Yes. So since we last recorded, I've run another race, another 5K.
Addicted. You're obsessed.
Okay, this one. Okay, let's go back. So my training or racing schedule originally was the Ghosts and Goblins 5K, which I ran October 26th. And the Pumpkin Pie 5K, which is November 15th. I did both of these last year, so I was planning to do them again. And then I threw in the Baltimore 5K on a whim, like I talked about last time. And then I added a race the day after the Pumpkin Pie 5K, which I talked about a couple episodes ago. So,
is there a turkey day, turkey trot sort of deal?
No, I don't do those.
Oh, excuse
not,
me.
not
That
like
definitely
that.
was definitely giving iPhone user talking to Android user vibes just now.
No, I would do those. So there's not like one close to me.
Okay.
And usually either we're hosting, so I have to start cooking food, or we're going to my brother's. He lives about 45 minutes away. So, and then
Okay.
if I need to prep food before, yeah, that's the reason. It's mostly like I
Gotcha.
don't want to be rushed on Thanksgiving morning. Yeah.
Okay.
And like factor that in. But yeah, otherwise I would. If I find one in Arvada, maybe.
Okay.
So if anyone listening knows, let me know. But yeah, so I had the Ghosts and Goblins 5K. It was a week and a day after the Baltimore 5K. So obviously, maybe not obviously, for those who don't know, the Ghosts and Goblins 5K is in Denver, which is where I live. So up at altitude. And the only reason I bring that up is I wasn't sure what to expect because Baltimore is at sea level. So, like, those times give me a general idea of how I've improved since my last sea level race. It doesn't give me much idea of, like, what to expect from my last altitude race. And last year, my fastest altitude time was 24:51. And I know that I'm faster this year. I just didn't know how much. So I just kind of went into it with the same strategy. That strategy did not pan out because I went out way too fast. Maybe not way too fast. I went out much faster. So I only looked at my watch at mile 1 and then mile 3. And at mile 1, I saw like 7:15, which is around the pace I ran at sea level for the whole 5K. And so I knew, I was like, this is probably faster than I should be going. So I'm just going to try to hold on for the rest of the race and just not slow down too much. And then try to pick people off when I felt good. Spoiler, I did not feel good. I mean, I felt it. No, it didn't feel good. It started hurting early in terms of a 5K. Like after that
Gotcha.
mile point, it started hurting, and I was like, okay, I still have like 2 more miles. But the benefits of this race is this is my 3rd race on this course, so I know the course really well. So I know more. We've talked about this in the past too. I know like where to push, where it's going to be hard. Like you can push more on the downhills. Obviously, uphills are a little harder. And then I know like relatively once I make a turn where the finish line is going to be. So yeah, it was quite hard. And none of my friends ran this one this year, so it's just me. So the vibes were lower. Still fun. But when I got to mile 3, I saw my watch was, like, high 21s, so and then mile 3, there's only, like, a 200 left. So, yeah, I was like, "This is gonna be a huge altitude
Mhm.
PR." Uh, so I picked up the pace somehow. I passed 3 men in the finish chute, which was really exciting.
Oh,
I would
man.
have been excited had it been man, woman, any kind of human. I
No
would
clarification needed, you're fine.
yeah,
I
uh,
speak for all the men, you're fine.
yeah. It's just really fun passing people,
It's all good.
but yeah, and they were so, unexpected. They were not expecting me to pass them. So, anyway,
Mm,
that's neither here nor there. So, I ran a 23:06,
it's not.
which is yeah, a minute and 45 seconds faster than last year, which is
Dang.
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
congrats.
highly thank you.
Dang.
Highly exceeded expectations. Naturally, like we talked about last episode, I was like, where could I have shaved off 6 or 7 seconds to be under 23 minutes?
6, 7. Yeah, of
No.
course.
Um,
Of course you were.
I know, but honestly, I don't know. I tried really hard in that race. I think somewhere in the middle, if I could not like, if I could prevent my decay in the middle, like a slower rate of decay, um, but my slowest miles were like 7:35.
Yeah,
Um, and a 23:06 for a 5K is like 7:27 pace.
that's legit.
Yeah, so I didn't really slow down that much, especially compared to last year. So I was really excited about that, really happy. But yeah, it hurt a lot. Oh, I also won my age group. So
Dang.
yeah,
Congratulations.
I got a
Nice
gift card.
job.
Thanks.
Gift card to
Runner's Roost. It's a local running store here.
nice. Okay. Well, congrats.
Thanks.
Another win. Are you
Another.
a like metal hanger? How does that go for you?
Oh yeah, you can kind of see that crab behind me. That's
Okay.
the
I
that's the
have
Baltimore
I have
one.
like a very small screen right now. I have it
Oh,
like
fair.
minimized. So
Yeah, my microphone's in the way too, but it's like
okay.
I've got the crab one because that one looks really cool. And then like out of my view, I have all of my medals
Yeah.
just hanging on a bookshelf.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
exciting, and it makes me excited for the next one because it's the same course. A lot of
The-
my friends are doing the pumpkin pie one with me.
You mean the next planned one or like the next one that you'll just be like, yeah, I'm just going to do
Well,
that.
there's nothing in between then because there's only this coming weekend, and I already have plans both days. So
And then there's the narrator. There was in fact something in between then.
no.
So, okay. Whatever you say. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
So
again, nice job. Nice performance
thank
there.
you.
Word. All right.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, except Halloween. Oh, happy back to standard time for all
Oh
who
yeah.
celebrate.
Yeah. Yeah. Still getting used to that. We'll have an update for that next time.
Yeah, but that's
Uh,
that's pretty much it over here. What's up with you?
not a whole lot different. In fact, we were talking right before we recorded. It's like the only update I'm really going to give at this point is just the final stats for Walktober, which I talked about because we were just about done last time we chatted. So I just had to pull my tracker out real quick here. So Walktober was a challenge, a self-created challenge for the month of October. So 31 days. And the intention was to get in 30 minutes or more of walking. It didn't have to be all at once. It could be accumulated throughout the day, but as many days of getting 30-minute walks as possible. So the final tally here, there were 19 days out of the 31 where I got 30 minutes in. There were
Nice.
10 days where I got some minutes in. So
Hmm.
whether that was a 10-minute walk, a 15-minute walk, whatever, it wasn't like, okay, well, it has to be 10 minutes to count as some. In
Yeah.
fact,
Right.
I think most of the sum days, like the sum minutes, was probably about 15 for the most part.
Hmm.
So 10 days of some, and then 2 days where I didn't get any intentional walks in at all.
That's pretty good.
So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll either My intention is either like at some point this week, I'll either use it for a podcast episode for like a little recap on learnings, or
Mm.
potentially use it for like content, like make a post out of it. Something that was really helpful is um, when I created the tracker, I did 5 squares in each line.
Hmm.
So 6 rows of 5, and then the last square, since there's a 30 and 31st, I just kind of put a line through it.
Yeah.
So where that was helpful is basically looking at things at basically like 10-day increments at a time. So it was like 3 different
Oh.
phases. So like phase 1 was like the first 2 rows, phase 2, the second 2 rows. And it's very interesting to me, and the visual will make a whole lot more sense if and when I post it, because for
Hmm.
the first 10 days, I got the walks in 9 out of 10 days.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Then the second phase, I got the walks in 3 out of 10 days.
Oh,
And then
interesting.
and then the third phase, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 10.
Hmm.
Yeah. So from my perspective, it totally tracks with how typically motivation and consistency tend to go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot easier to stay on track at the start because you're excited about it. And that
Mm-hmm.
it's very much like a race.
Mm.
The
Coming out hot.
start, yeah, the start feels good. You're fresh.
Yep.
The middle, you're not close to the end, but you're tired from the start. So things get harder. And then the end, you feel a little better, but you're tired. But you can pick
Yeah.
it up because the finish is closer. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so I'm thinking that I'll probably do some sort of an episode, or again a post, or maybe a little bit of both, with just takeaways on my own reflections just from my experience, because I'm just like everybody else. Like sometimes there's still this perception that coaches, like, we never miss and this
Yeah.
stuff comes super easy, and whenever we do a challenge like this, it's like, oh, I nailed it 100%. That's certainly not the case, and I had no expectation that that was going to be the case. The One of the biggest things that I wanted to challenge myself to do, and I was successful in doing that, was regardless of how many days I didn't complete, still like mark it however I did. So I did a green, basically
Mm.
it was a green square if I got 30 minutes in, it was a yellow square if I got partial, and it was a red, like a red X if I got no intentional walking in that particular day. And just to clarify, I'd mentioned this on the last episode, I'll reiterate it again. The days where I didn't get intentional walks in, if I were to go back and look at those days, I want to say my average steps were somewhere between 11 and 13,000 on those days. So it's not like
Yeah.
I was sitting around doing nothing. It just was a big piece of it was about really just kind of re-engaging what it takes to try and block off X amount of time to do one specific thing every single day. Like, what does that actually take? Because you could really insert anything in there. So
Yeah.
for the person who, you could take this same challenge and say, I will take 30 minutes every day to prep my meals for the next day. And that doesn't mean that it's 30 minutes at once. It could be 10 minutes in the morning to prep, tomorrow's breakfast, and then 10 minutes in the afternoon to prep tomorrow's lunch, whatever it might be. But, or 30 minutes of reading in a day, or it could be 30 minutes of, you know, quality time with your partner, whatever it is, like just thinking about, okay, what does it take to mark off that time and actually stick with it? So
Yeah.
um, I counted as a win that I stuck with tracking it all the way through, especially during that second phase, because it would have been easy to just be like, dude, this is not happening. But there we go. So that's my recap of
Mm.
Walktober.
Nice. I like the idea of Walktober. As we've discussed before, I find it very challenging to go on intentional walks.
Yeah, one of my clients really liked it, so I recreated it for November, and just to try and keep it fun with some sort of a theme, I just called it, for her, I just made redid the tracker, and then just called it Govember, like go for a walk.
Oh,
So that's what she's doing, is Govember.
I like it.
So I've got time to think, because the challenge for this month is for November, like no something. So eliminate or reduce some sort of habit that's having a negative impact on your nutrition, your sleep, or your exercise.
Hmm.
So I will share what I'm working on after November. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So
But
you guys gotta wait.
basically, yeah. Unless they're in the fitness foundations group where I'll be talking about it.
Yeah, so the rest of us plebes have to wait.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that is what's going on. So now to get into our main topic, let me try to lay the foundation for some context here. Because full disclosure, I'm the one who reached out to Kelly with, "Hey, I have this idea,"
Yeah.
and then you know, as always, Kelly's game. I'm like, I should probably try to organize my thoughts around this idea. Okay, so some context on where this idea came from generally is right around this time of the year can tend to be really just different schedule wise for a multitude of reasons, primarily based around holiday seasons. Depending on people's lines of work, it either gets way busier or way lighter. For some people, it's like near the end of like a business year or whatnot. Sometimes more people are on vacation, less people are on vacation, so people aren't available. If you've got kids, then the the inevitable like sickness starts to ramp up for some households around this time of the year. Colds get carried, just all sorts of different things. And
Mhm.
also, if you are in an environment where the weather tends to get a bit colder, or something along those lines, then outdoor events may be a bit more few and far between. So basically, just all sorts of culmination of things. These next few months for many people can be tend to present more of a challenge with being able to stick to, let's say, training like 4 to 5 days per week, very structured sort of thing, just because life demands more attention and more of your energy, like physically and mentally. So, my thought was, okay, so if we were to take just a made up avatar of someone who may every now and then, like they would be, say, a client that Kelly is working with who's getting ready for a half or a full or an ultra or whatever the case may be, or maybe it's a client that I may primarily work with who is in a specific like body recomposition season or something like that. Maybe this is a little bit different. This is something where they don't specifically have something planned for, let's say, the next 6 months, and they just want to generally like stay fit, but they're kind of like, man, I don't know like how many days a week is enough, and what kind of program would you put together, and how much should I run, and how much should I lift, and all sorts of stuff. So just generally what I did was I took a few thoughts and just plugged them into my virtual assistant chat GPT show, and I let her know that Kelly and I were going to talk about how we would design a training program or a training week, I guess, an average week for someone who wants to generally stay fit while not having some specific event on their calendar that they're needing to train for. Fair explanation kind of what I
Yeah.
presented.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. We're just gonna
Okay.
make up a training plan for a fake
Yeah.
person.
Yep. So here is our person. Our person is Taylor. Do with that what you will. So the person we're going to design this program for, their name is Taylor. They are 38. Occupation wise, they're a corporate professional or a small business owner. Let's go. Ooh, how about a corporate professional with a side hustle? I don't know, whatever. But anyways, they work.
They're
Okay.
busy.
Listen,
Yeah.
they're busy. They got bills to pay. Okay. So lifestyle wise, work demands are high, schedule changes often, but staying active is a non negotiable. Training provides stress relief and structure, and they definitely still enjoy being social with their friends.
Mhm.
Okay, so we got that part. So as of right now, their time and training capacity. Right now, their training schedule capacity is 3 days a week. They can usually get in about 30 to 40 minutes of training. So 3 days a week for about 30 to 40 minutes. They do have one additional day where they can set aside 60 to 70 minutes. May or may not be on the weekend, like that sort of thing, but they can do 3 days, 30 to 40 minutes, and one day, 60 to 70 minutes. Right now, they estimate that their average daily activity is around 6,000 to 8,000 steps on average, just generally. As far as weekend activity, sometimes they may go for a long walk, might bike ride, may do yard work, nothing that's specifically structured. And keep in mind their schedule does change fairly often too. So
Mhm.
it's not like a set schedule. And the core challenge that Taylor has is being able to still maintain consistency around their travel and work demands. So they need a flexible training schedule or a flexible training program that doesn't punish them for missing days. All right. So the final little piece of this is that Taylor wants to look fit and feel capable, not specifically chasing numbers or PRs, because remember, there's not a specific event there. So their goal is just a maintainable groove and a routine that travels well and leaves room for fun. Okay. So, Kelly, where would you like to start?
Ooh. Um, let's see.
If you have additional questions about Taylor, I'm more than happy to come up with random things because I'm
What
going to keep it general here.
yeah,
We're not
what
going to get super
does
specific.
well, so if I were working with Taylor,
Yeah.
I would want to
What
know
would you do?
what do they like to do? And
Okay. Let's say that Taylor has run all the way up to half marathons before.
okay.
So they enjoy running. They enjoy lifting. They'll do the occasional class with a friend here or there, like
Okay.
meet up with somebody at the gym, a group workout sort of a deal. But really, they just really like to stay active. They know that when they are working out consistently, they feel at their best. The challenge is it's really been hard to create something that also doesn't make them feel like they're totally screwing up because they've got a really big work project for the next 3 days. So they haven't so missing
Yeah.
3 to 4 days in a row doesn't make them feel like, okay, well now I've got to start all over again, like that sort of thing. So they just generally like being active. It's just been a real big challenge to know, okay, well, I don't know how many days a week do I lift? How many do I run? How many should I be doing this? Should I be doing that?
So, we've got 4 days to work with,
Yep.
really.
Mhm.
I would say one option is 2 runs, 2 lifts. We keep
Okay.
them completely separate. As the one with the running bias, I would recommend 3 runs, 2 lifts.
Wait,
Uh,
wait. You said 4 days.
yeah.
Okay. And then 3 runs, 2 lifts is 5.
Yeah, we're doubling up one of the days.
Oh, okay. All
The
right.
longer day, I would
Go
double
off.
up.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so that would be my personal preferred, assuming that Taylor wants to run in the future and doesn't want to lose whatever, base they have.
Well, let's say generally, we're just talking like generally fit. So,
I don't work with those people, though.
I,
I'm
I don't,
telling you from my point of view of people
okay. Okay.
I work with, they would
That's
have a
fair.
running goal in the future.
Okay. Well, it's at least 6 months from now. Like
Okay.
they're not even considering doing anything for the next 6 months. So they wouldn't even consider starting to train for a specific event for 6 months. Not an event in 6 months.
Oh,
Not even
okay.
starting to train. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very
That's off
different.
yeah. That's why I
I was
clarified.
gonna say an event in 6 months, so we're starting in 2 months then.
Yeah, I know it can be really easy to like kind of start going into like super minute details, but no,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to keep it general because the conversations that I have, this is a very common avatar that's out there for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like that person that they may occasionally they want to stay fit enough to occasionally jump into a 5K or whatnot, but
Mhm.
they're not specifically training for that, and they don't have anything specifically on the books for the near future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So 4 days.
4 days.
Okay.
Um, I mean, I guess if they don't want to double up, I would just do 2 and 2.
So 2 runs, 2 lifts.
Yeah.
Okay. So how would you, from a running perspective, like what would the runs look like then? So if you got
They would just be easy runs.
all easy runs?
Yeah, I mean, with 2 runs a week, you can't I would not recommend doing much other than easy runs.
Okay.
You just don't there's not you don't have the volume, you know? You could do one of them a little more intense,
Okay.
but I don't know. I don't usually recommend people do intensity if they're doing that little days a week in running.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because normally, and we've talked about this before, if you're building back, like you're building up your mileage and your consistency first before we add in any intensity.
Mhm.
So unless Taylor wants to do like a class and that's her intensity, but
Yeah.
like I wouldn't give her speed workouts or
Okay.
them. I don't know if Taylor is a her.
Yeah, we don't the
I know.
Tisha specifically picked, like, gender neutral because the other one that they came up with that we're not using was Jordan.
Yes,
So,
could be either.
either way. Terry,
Um,
anything.
yeah. So the piece that is getting me, which might be more in your arena, is
Okay.
Taylor wants to look fit.
Okay.
What do you do with that?
Okay. So if Taylor were coming to me,
Mhm.
knowing that you and I, we align on a lot of things, however, we are coming from different angles
Yeah.
when we're like the client that's gonna come to us. So, um, if she's coming to me or he, whoever it is, so if we're talking 4 days, so if you
Mhm.
tell me that I've got 4 days, and really I'm looking at it like, okay, if they say they have 30 to 40 minutes, they probably have 40 minutes.
Oh, interesting.
That's just generally what I think. If
I
somebody tells
usually I see the opposite, but maybe it's people just
Oh,
wanna
yeah?
cut their run short.
Oh, maybe maybe so, but if you tell me that you've got 30 to 40 minutes, I'm gonna assume that that means you have, up to 40 minutes,
Yeah.
yeah, that you have 40 minutes, 3 days per week, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and then we have, let's say, an hour, because 60 to 70, we'll just say an hour for that one. So you
Okay.
got 3 shorter days. Okay. So what I likely would be doing here is I'm gonna have them lift. So let's assume, if at all possible, I'm gonna have that person, so Taylor is going to have the 40-minute sessions during the week and then the 60-minute session on the weekend. Because
Yeah.
most of the folks, that's probably where this is falling. Now with their
Mhm.
travel schedule, maybe not, but again, we're trying to keep this kind of general.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would have them, I do a combination of a pretty big lift on the first day of the week. So it'd be 40 minutes of lifting,
Mhm.
total body. So they'd be doing total body sessions here for
Okay.
workouts.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be doing like a upper lower sort of a thing. So we do
Yeah.
total body on one day. Then the second day we would do um, a combination of basically about, let's say, like 20 minutes of lifting, and then like 20 to 25 minutes of lifting, and then 15 to 20 minutes of cardio after
Okay.
that. So I would actually be doing either, and again, this is like for my client avatar who would come to me with this, I would be doing some sort of combination of probably some sort of interval work going on. So it would either be like right now, actually, I have somebody right now who kind of fits this a little bit. They
Mhm.
work out 3 days per week. And so what we do is we do total body. We do a decent amount of supersets. We do one big lift and then maybe 2 to 3 supersets, depending on how much time they have. And then we do a short, like 10 to 12 minute, either Metcon or running intervals at the end,
Mhm.
and that fits in within usually about a 40-minute time frame. So I do session 1 would be total body lifting, session 2 would be total body, probably about 3 movements I
Okay.
pick. or one big movement and then two supersets, and then we do about 15 to 20 minutes of some intervals, so some higher intensity stuff. Then um, the third 40-minute one would be mostly all cardio,
Okay.
and then the 60-minute one we would do another like lengthier total body, and then we do interval stuff.
Hmm.
So the 40-minute one would be longer. If I'm assuming that it's somebody who does really enjoy running and all that stuff, we'd probably do something longer on
On the big day.
on the 40-minute day, I'm sorry.
Oh, the 40-minute day. Oh, so the third 40-minute day.
So they'd have a lifting day,
Yep.
lifting and intervals day,
Yep.
then a full, like, I call it a conditioning day. So cardio conditioning day,
Yeah.
and then another total body and interval day for their fourth day.
Okay.
So at that point, they would be lifting. They would have 3 different lifting sessions, and then 2 short intervals that would be within that week, and 1 longer, like, cardio day.
Okay.
And the reason I do it that way, somebody's like, well, why would you do it that way? So the reason that I would do it that way is I'm always going to prioritize lifting. So the people that are going to come to me typically want to prioritize lifting, at least for a particular season. So
Yeah.
even if they primarily run, or when they have events, like they have event-driven seasons, if they're coming to me, it's typically not during an event-driven season. It's either during
Yeah.
an off season, or they've experienced something where they realize they need more strength, like whatever it might be. So I'm going to prioritize the lifting. So that's where I'm going to get the three lifting sessions in. And then the interval stuff, one of the things that I like about doing lifting and then short intervals is if somebody is in a massive time crunch, then I know the lifting is done. The
Mm-hmm.
interval stuff, if it's 10 to 15-ish minutes, you can pop that in. You might be able to find some time to do that somewhere else. And especially for my people that travel, because I do deal with a decent amount of a percentage of my clients that will occasionally have busy travel seasons. Sometimes that's really something that energizes them when they travel, and they can just, like, they're staying at a hotel and they know they can just like get up and kind of hit the treadmill before they're in a long day of like meetings or conferences or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever it might be. So that still has them feeling like they're making some deposits, even if it's like, I can't necessarily, or I'm not in a position. I don't feel like I can really get like the most out of this because, it's supposed to be a hotel fitness room.
Mm-hmm.
It's, 3 pairs of dumbbells and a Bosu ball. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
do.
So I want to clarify too, on that third day where I was like, yeah, it'd be 40 minutes, like cardio or conditioning. That's not
Mm-hmm.
just, I mean, if the person wanted to just go on a 40-minute like long run, they certainly could. However, when I design a day like that, it's typically something like, okay, we'll do like some mobility stuff for about 5-6 minutes to warm up. Then we'll do a superset of like farmer carries, and then like if somebody's using a treadmill, like incline run paired with that.
Mm.
I'll do maybe 4 to 5 like rounds of that. And then we'll do maybe a couple of different things. Like I kind of mix things up. It's not just 40 minutes of straight running,
Mm-hmm.
because that doesn't tend to be the avatar that I work with.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, so when we're looking at a 40-minute cardio session, we're talking like even similar to some of the stuff you might experience if you were to go to like a CrossFit Box or an Orange Theory. Like I might put a Metcon in there and then a longer running piece or a longer bike piece, some monostructural cardio, rowing, ski erg, stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good schedule.
Yeah. I would say one of the things that was brought up in this avatar is that they're getting in 6,000 to 8,000 steps on average. That is a fantastic place to be. I would not be pushing them to try and get more steps.
Yeah.
Like they're good there. So that's what I would say. What do you think about the schedule thing?
The schedule thing is hard. Um, what makes it hard for me reading this avatar is they want structure from training, but their schedule changes often. I guess I'm equating structure with routine, and if your schedule's changing, you don't have routine, you know? Um,
Wait, say that
but,
again?
well, there's, like, kind of a juxtaposition between they want structure with training, but their
Oh, okay.
schedule changes often, you know?
I feel like I can speak to this one.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
it's just I'm thinking structure means routine, but it doesn't always have to mean routine.
doesn't always have to mean. Yeah, the way that I translate that is the way that I translate that is going to be heavily biased by this concept that I've been actually like spitballing in my head this week.
Mhm.
Um, so they want to know that even though they don't train every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sometimes it's Sunday, Tuesday, Saturday. Sometimes it's Monday, Thursday, Friday, whatever it is, that
Yeah.
they're following an actual plan versus okay, you have to have exactly 1 day of rest in between these. Like it has to be a 2 on, 1 off,
Oh,
2 on. Like that's the way that I'm translating it as far as structure.
yeah.
Like that even though you're training on different days each week, you know that you're following a plan and getting it done. It's kind of like you're still checking those boxes. Like you get to visually see, like, yep, I got like something I used to do with one of my clients was we stopped calling it a 6 week training block.
Uh-huh.
So they averaged, let me say 3 training sessions per week.
Okay.
However, something that was a mental block for them was when the workouts were in the calendar, if 1 week they did 2, and the third workout, if they didn't do it that way, the way that the software was set up, it put an X for like a missed workout.
Yeah.
And it was really annoying to them because they would so I use True Coach, and when you hit
Yeah, yeah.
password, okay, gotcha. So they
Yeah.
they just thought it was really annoying, and it got in their head. And
Mhm.
I'm certain there's somebody who's like, "Dude, it's not that big of a deal." I'm like, "I understand it's not that big of a deal, and also when you work with a coach one-on-one, these are some of the things that you find out because that stuff usually translates to other things in your life."
Yeah, a lot of people are like that. People
Yeah.
hate seeing red in Training Peaks, and I'm just like,
Absolutely. Yeah. So
"Well."
while I wasn't necessarily going to sign up for doing something about that every time because I'm not the person who's like, "Yep, I will move your workout every time for you." I'm not doing that at all.
Mhm.
However, I was like, "You know what? Instead of looking at it," because sometimes her feedback would be, "God, like sometimes I just feel like I'm behind because it's
Mm.
like a 6 week training program, but it took me 8 weeks to finish it." Like that sort of thing.
Oh,
And I was
okay.
like, "Oh, perfect. Then instead, here's what we're gonna call it. It's an 18 session training program." So I
Mm.
started putting workout number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Like I just did that. And just
Yeah.
that simple thing was it just helped them because also it can get really difficult sometimes. I can definitely see how it can be difficult sometimes to look and see like, well, snap. Like I had to switch this day around and this day around. So now this 1 week has been stretched into 2.5 weeks. And so now you end up taking a program that you thought was going to be 6 weeks and it's been like half a year or something crazy, you know? So
Yeah.
like, yeah, I get where you're coming from. So that's just my bias just in working with people who sometimes are like, yeah, I just want to know that I'm following a plan, but I can't commit to something that, it has to be, you know, Monday, Tuesday you work out, Wednesdays you never work out and
Right.
all that stuff. So that's how I'm kind of interpreting it. But I
That
don't know.
makes sense. Though with 4 days per week, there's, like, not that many different combinations of days. So there's kinda gonna be
Yeah.
a standard, routine each week.
Yeah, you would hope. You would you would
Yeah.
hope. You would hope. And I think that's where some of the work That's where a lot of the work is, though. Is somebody listening might be you would not be surprised. Somebody listening might be surprised with how many people literally are like flying by the seat of their pants when it comes to doing their workouts.
Yeah, it's true.
Where they're just like, yeah, I'll squeeze in 4 this week. Like they definitely plan to work out Monday. Like Monday's going to happen. But the other days are like, I should be able to squeeze it in here and there, and I might do it that day. There's a lot of people doing that that I'm aware of. So yeah,
Yeah.
I know you think you're like, it's 4 days a week. Like that's probably going to create some sort of structure. It's like, hold my water. I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying based on this avatar, maybe your chat friend just threw in too many contradictory things. Well, because when I see like staying active is non-negotiable, that to
Mhm.
me says this person, you give them 30 minutes on a Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
They know work is busy. They're getting up earlier to get that 30 minutes in because staying active is non-negotiable.
Mm.
That's how I interpret that part of this avatar. So I might just be making up their personality that doesn't exist. Because
Yeah,
then that makes
possibly.
things a lot that makes things a lot simpler in terms of making the plan.
Yeah, I think more often than not, it's that the I would take it as staying active is non-negotiable. The real translation is my desire to always be active is never going to go away. Like if somebody were to say, I know the importance of staying active and I don't ever want to lose that being a focus, I can feel that that's kind of slipping away, and I need it to be a non-negotiable.
Yeah, I'm still
Okay. I don't know. I
I
think you're
don't
trying to
know.
get like too specific.
I'm just telling you my interpretation of this fake person.
Okay, that's cool. All right.
But
I'll give it.
most of the people that come to me are the people, well, actually not really. The majority are actually the type A. You tell
Mhm.
them to do something, they're going to do it.
Yeah, I think that would definitely that definitely fits a certain crowd, especially when a decent amount of what they do is event based. Because a lot
Mhm.
of the people that you work with, like there's a date
Yeah.
at some point, you know, like at some point there's a date in a couple months, 6 months, whatever it might be. There is that.
Mhm.
So there's something that's specific. I think that while there are certainly, I mean, I work with both types, like people who are very like type A, and they're very much like, yeah, I literally never miss a training day. Like if I'm say I'm going to work out 5 days a week, I work out 5 days a week. And they also are the same people who are like, I just don't understand why I'm not getting better results, whether that be strength, whether it be aesthetics, whether it be how they just feel for how much
Mhm.
work I'm putting in. And what you find is that they're waving the I'm hella consistent flag. And then when you look at the work, it's like, yeah, I'm in the gym 2 hours every day. And so if you were to put a hidden camera on that person, like have a camera follow them, you find that they're doing about 45 minutes of work in that 2 hours that they're in the gym.
Okay.
They're having some conversations. They're like on you know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. So that's what I'm saying.
You talk about going down rabbit holes.
Well, I don't
That was
know.
not my interpretation of Taylor. I was just saying
I didn't say it was Taylor. I'm just saying. I'm saying
I'm
like
just
that. I get
saying
where that person's coming from.
yeah, I'm just saying chat's description, they're a little contradictory
Okay.
on the details about Taylor.
I will give Tisha that feedback.
Yeah, give Tisha that feedback.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, I mean, anything else that you would suggest to keep in mind?
I would since you added the wrinkle, it's not really a wrinkle, it's a pretty normal thing, that they enjoy being social with friends, which I'm going to interpret as sometimes they like drinking with friends, or just staying out late, disrupting their usual routine with their friends,
Yeah,
let's
pretty
say.
common. Pretty common.
Yeah. I would just take that into consideration when planning the longer session. Like, don't do that the night before the longer session.
Mm,
Since there's only 4 days, not only, since there's 4 days a week, we have the ability to move things around. So, like, if you know you're
yeah.
going out Friday night, do your longer one on Sunday and don't
Yeah.
go out Saturday. If you go out both nights, then you might just have to deal with the consequences of your actions during
Yeah,
training.
I think that brings up a good like adjacent point around when you're going through seasons of not of needing to reduce the amount of time that you're spending with your training, based on your lifestyle, schedule, demands, and all that stuff. It becomes, I think, even more important to protect your training time and protect the
Mhm.
quality of your training. So, to your point, it's like if you have a standing thing that you do like every Friday night till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and now, your weekdays are pretty packed. And so Saturday is your one day to really be able to like get a long workout or a long run or whatever it is in, then you likely will need to, depending on depending on what your goals are,
Yeah.
you may need to make some adjustments in order to protect that training time. Because yeah, it just reminds me of that
Mhm.
point. Because sometimes folks will ask those questions like, can I still get results if I'm only working out 3 times a week for 30 minutes? There's a Sure, yes, you can expect results. Now, what are you expecting, and what are you going to be doing during those 30 minutes? So if you're not, like, as the young folks say, locked in for those 30 minutes, then I don't know. That's going to be a little bit more difficult. Like, you're not,
Yeah.
you got 30 minutes, you need to hit it pretty hard, like right from the jump.
Mhm.
So, yeah, just reminds me of that. It's a good point. Good call.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Well, we'll start
I think
wrapping
that's
this
it.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like,
We've beaten this Taylor horse enough.
oh my gosh, how aggressive. Yikes. All
Um,
right. Good thing we left Jordan out, man. All
yeah.
right.
Well, if any of the listeners have
Not
a specific avatar that they would like us to discuss, maybe it's you, maybe it's a friend, send it in. We'd be happy to give our thoughts on how we would build a training plan. And you can send it in to Lifting Running Living Pod on Instagram or liftingrunningLivingPod@gmail.com via email.
Yes. All right. So, once again, thank you for listening to another episode of Lifting, Running, and Living. If your name is Taylor, I'm sorry if you felt attacked during this particular episode, especially if you're
Especially if you're
38.
38.
You might be a corporate professional or small business owner who walks 6 to 8 thousand steps a day. So,
Yeah.
sorry if you feel attacked. All right. So, with that, we are going to bring this episode to a close. So, thank you again for listening. We appreciate you. Take care, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.